Hello everyone and welcome back to Schleich Studios. So this video has been 7 months coming, the final part of my barn building series. So as you may remember, we left off with some cat shenanigans, I should say. So anyways, let's pick up where we left off. I don't know what to do. The cat peed all over the barn. It's ruined. I don't know what to do. Yeah, so the cat peed all over my stable, but I was determined to fix it, and good news, I did manage. So I actually found that a great way to solve this issue was actually baking soda. And so I sprinkled on a layer of the baking soda all over the affected area, and it just kind of dried it up and soaked up the smell. And I did multiple layers and I vacuumed it off every time, and it actually worked pretty well. So if this happens to you, this is definitely what can be done to reduce it. With that sorted out, let's move on to building the rest of the stable. So I felt like a hayloft was kind of a necessity for this stable since the real one has one. So I decided to construct it out of balsa wood. I glued these 3 sheets together, and I'll be using Mod Podge next to give them an even tighter bond. I'm basically just going to apply it all over the whole thing, and this will hopefully just strengthen it and improve the bond that I couldn't get with the normal glue. So rafters are an important piece of strength for haylofts, so I cut and stained so many of these rafters, and I believe they're like ½ inch thick. So I just kind of worked cutting and staining them with the stain mixture I used for the rest of the stable to make them match, and I think they turned out really well. I'm telling you, I cut so many ½ inch strips of wood for the rafters, and I didn't always get it right, and I had to cut them and recut them and throw some away, and it took forever, but they turned out really good though. I attached them to the underside of my hayloft like this, and that was a great idea. Not only did they look really realistic, but they gave the whole thing so much structure and support. It doesn't flitter around anymore. It's much more sturdy. Anyways, I bound together the rest of the hayloft floor with Mod Podge, and now it's time to make the roof. So my original idea was to make the roof hinged on one side, but that did not work. So I changed the beams to make them a bit thicker, stronger, and I'm also going to be adding cross beams this time for realism, and also just to make the whole thing a more sound structure. And I learned a lot about roof building from this. This really helped me to learn how to build roofs, actually. Anyways, I will be taking these pieces of corrugated cardboard, and I'll be gluing them together to make the roof tiles, so to speak. And yeah, so I'm just going to fit these 2 pieces of wood together to give it a bit more structure so that the pieces just aren't hanging in thin air, you know. I want them to be joined together, and I want them to be nice and strong and sturdy. I then went through with my very yucky hot glue gun and glued it all down just to make it more stable and structural. I'm then taking black pastels and a sieve, and I'm grating them all over the white corrugated cardboard and this will kind of make it a bit more gray on the inside once it's nice and, you know, rubbed in there with a paintbrush. I did this because the actual metal inside is gray, not pure white, so I wanted to give this more realistic effect, as well as just making it look kind of dirty. It is a barn after all. I am really happy with the effect it gave, so let's glue it down onto the main structure of the hayloft. I use Mod Podge to secure it well to the other piece. When the Mod Podge is dry, I'm going to take out my pan pastels and kind of add some weathering to the hayloft roof. And here is the effect it gave. I'm super happy with it, especially taking into consideration roofs aren't usually super clean. Anyways, now I'm going to be blitzing up some normal hay in a blender to make it nice and small and fine and in scale, because I'm going to be making hay bales. So I'm using a tutorial on YouTube by Real Wild Play Studios, and I just thought her hay bales turned out really nice and really realistic, so I want to give her a shout out. And her video will be in the eye in the corner now if you want to check it out. Anyways, I think that blitzing up the hay is an important step, so I did do that, and now I'll be taking it back downstairs. So she used wooden blocks for her bases, but I didn't have those, so I just made these cardboard boxes out of a cardboard box, and I will be gluing the hay to these with Mod Podge. Anyways, this is how they turned out, and I'm super happy with these. I think they look so realistic as hay bales, and now I'm going to be stacking them in this old shoebox because my dog can and will eat them, and she has before, and I don't want that to happen again. So, dog protection is in order. Yeah, thinking about it, my pets cause a lot of trouble in this hobby. Anyways, now I will be adding the baling twine with twine. So I'm using this sturdy hemp cord that I have, and it's good because if my cats do find a way to eat it, it will just biodegrade in their stomach, and yeah, it won't pose too many issues. So it is blue, which is like perfect for this, and there's actually 4 colors, so I'm going to be using blue. So I start by wrapping it around to determine how long I need each piece, and then I cut each piece off, and then I just kind of secure them down with glue on the underside of the hay bale, and 1 is done, and now 2, and I think they look excellent. Since my hayloft will be on top of the stable, it'll get dark pretty quickly in there, so I actually drilled 7 holes into the hayloft base and just put some very simple fairlights into the holes. I made these bulbs out of gelatin pill capsules and lined them with normal wire, and I glued them on top of the fairlights, and I think they look awesome. I just love these so much, and they look so much like the lights in my real stable, so I'm super happy with this. Alright, so my riders need a way to get to the hayloft, and I made this first set of stairs, but I have yet to make the second set, so I will show you guys how I do that. Now, these were pretty simple to make. I just made foam core outlines, sort of, glued balsa wood to them, and made the landing. I think they turned out really good for what they are, and I really like how they look in the stable. So the first step is taking a piece of foam core, and I just kind of plot what angle I want the stairs to be on, how wide I want each stair to be, and kind of just like the whole outline of the stairs. This usually took about 20 minutes for me because I had to kind of test it and fit it each time and kind of change my design multiple times before I cut it. I also took a rider and made sure that her feet fit on all the stair pieces. I did not want her not able to fit on the stairs. The point of stairs is for people to climb them. Now I will be cutting out the stairs, so I made 2 of these and cut them both out. And of course I had to tweak and test some before I was fully happy with them. Now I will be popping them out of the foam core, and this was so nerve-wracking, you guys. I was so worried I was gonna like snap the stairs. But anyways, here they are after I cut them out, and I'm just going to trace them to make 2. Then I'm going to do the same thing, except on balsa wood this time, laying them out, tracing and cutting to make the wood parts fit neatly over the foam core. And here's how they look now, and I gotta say I'm really pleased with these. I think that they look great. I of course cover both sides, and then I add balsa wood on each of the stair pieces and glue it into the stable, and I think they look really nice. But there needs to be a way for the people to get from the main barn into the hayloft, so we need to cut a hole in the floor. This was so nerve-wracking, you guys. I was trying so hard not to mess up. I was so afraid I was going to like damage the whole thing and have to start over. And I did actually make a cut in the wrong place, but I managed to fix it. So this is how it's looking after I cut it, and this was so scary. It's not even funny. I was like literally trembling as I was cutting this out. I don't know why. I think I was feeling the pressure of a bomb diffuser. Anyways, I decided to fix the rafters that kind of got bent up. And here's how it looks when I put the railings on it, and I love it. And I definitely love how the loft looks with all the hay bales stacked up nicely. I just think it looks awesome. Now we need back stall doors so that the horses don't escape uncontrollably. So I made these out of foam core, actually painted them burgundy and added this white wood trimming, and I'm in love with these. I just think they look just like the ones on the real barn. Here's some of the foam core that does not have the trimming on it yet, but man, I'm in love. I just think they look awesome. I glued them to the back stable doors, and I just love how they look so much. So you may notice that the floor is still wood, and so I had to go on an excursion to the real barn to get some bluestone. So we have this pile of stones laying around from when we did the bluestone almost a year ago now, and I decided I would take advantage of this pile. So I got these 2 feed tubs. The boys are sharing. And a shovel, and then I can go out and dig some bluestone. I tried to get the smallest particles, but I will definitely still have to put it through a sieve later, as I really just want the finest bits. Anyways, back to the house I go. Jamie, hello. So I'm taking this sieve, which I permanently borrowed from the kitchen, and I will be sifting the bluestone particles because I really just want the finest bits. And my cat thought it was a litter box. Not again. So anyways, I will be sifting these into this bin, and I just really want the smallest bits. So yeah. And the reason for this is I want the stones to look in scale. When I put the model in here, when it's big stones, they look like literal boulders, and I can't have that. So just the little pieces are in order. I'll be using a Mod Podge again, and I just kind of dump it onto the base of the diorama, and I move it around with this paintbrush and just kind of spread it and smear it. And I really only do a thin layer as I don't want to waste too much. It's kind of expensive, and when you use this much, you don't want to run out of one tub right away. So I just do a light layer, but it does work very well, and it really sticks it on there. Once it's down, it's really, really hard to remove. And do try to embrace the amount of stones that will get all over your fingers. Anyways, if I'm totally honest with you, this is one of the parts of the project that I actually kind of hated. I don't know, it was really mindless, annoying, frustrating work, just sifting little stones for like an hour at a time, and then like pouring them on, and then realizing I didn't have enough and I had to go sift more stones again. And then I didn't always have Mod Podge, so progress was delayed, and the whole thing took me like a month to actually get done. Anyways, I poured the stones on, and I really didn't like this part of the process, but gotta just suck it up, right? It does look really nice in the end. I then add the side roof, and now it is time to make a ton of accessories and stuff for the stable. So you can see I added some shelves and cabinets in the tack room, as well as some saddle racks, a hot water heater, and a sink. And now I'll just let you watch me add all the tiny accessories into the stable. So my tack room obviously has a front, and I wanted to make something that I could still film in the tack room with, if you know what I mean. So I made this out of balsa wood, and I made it removable actually. So I just made 2 little slots and can slide it into the slots, and this way I can film in there whenever I want, but it can also be a nice front to my tack room. Now I'm going to make the door, so I'm taking this piece of a date container, I believe, and I'm going to glue it to the wood frame of the door. And with a time skip, I added the pieces of wood between the panes. I also added hinges on a piece of balsa wood. And next, I will be gluing that to one of the tack room posts. Now it is time to resume accessorizing. the feed box into the feed room as my dog would eat it if I didn't add that last. And with that, the stable is finally complete. January 27th was when I started planning on this project, and I finished it the 17th of July. 7 whole months poured into this project, but I'm super happy with the result. I couldn't have wished for anything better, honestly, and I'm just in love with this table. I really like it so much, and I can't wait to use it for filming and hopefully have it for many years to come. Thank you so much for watching this series and all my videos in general, liking and subscribing and commenting kind things. It's really helped me through this whole process, and I just want to thank you guys all so much. This has honestly been the biggest project I've ever done, and I definitely have my sights set on something much smaller for my next project. So I guess I will see you guys then. Now I'll just stop talking and let you enjoy the slideshow. so we are nearing the end of the slideshow now. I just want to thank you all so much for watching this video and this series. And if you did like this, please don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe. And I will see you all next time. Bye!